Hi, Paula. Thanks for submitting these. These look good. I think that it's really fun for me to see. I'm assuming, I know this is your barn at your old place, and I can just really feel the place of it. I don't know how else to describe it. It's really, really cool. And that that you've got the different versions of it. Yeah, it's really neat. Isn't it amazing how just staying with that limited palette and switching those up can make such a difference in the feeling of a piece? I think working with a limited palette's a really um, wonderful way to kind of dig into a subject. So let me just talk about these a little bit. Let me go. I want to go to the next one. I want to talk about that one too, but okay. So on this one, I feel like um, the pathway um, uh, it's a little bit confusing to me on both versions whether the pathway has got this sunlight or whether you see what I'm saying is here right here you've got this cast shadow of the barn, but then I'm assuming that this pathway here is that it is a pathway, that it is lighter in value, uh, but then on this side this looks as though it's grass, but it also feels it's about the same value as this. So it's a little bit ambiguous here in both versions. So I would say I want to know whether this is a pathway that's lit or whether um, this is light that's on the grass. I'm not really, it's a little unclear. Um, And, I think that that's something easily remedied, probably by changing up the value right here of this grass on both versions. So let me go back to the other version. Let's see. I want to go back. Hang on. Okay, I see it on the other version too here. So I know that you're telling me that this is a pathway. Um, I think I like this one too. I mean, um that you've used the dark in the background. You're switching up where the values are. I think that's really cool. And this one I think has a very interesting quality with the blue sky against the this lavender. I like this one. Um, again, I, I'm feeling a little bit ambiguous about this pathway, the value of it. But it's clear in this version than it is in this version. You see that? Um, and I think it's this cast shadow here. Maybe it isn't a cast shadow. Maybe that's what I'm getting confused about. Um, but regardless, I think that it's important visually for our viewer to know where things are in space and what's going on. And it's a little unclear. So I would try to resolve that in all the versions. See this one, Paula, it feels so much like this is a cast shadow right here. And because this side of the barn is in shadow. And so I think that's a key. And you've got this beautiful light back here, which I think this one is to me really moody and really successful in terms of using the values to really tell us a story. I like that very much about this one. You've got a little bit of drawing inconsistency in the rooftop here. You know, those are things that are easily resolved. I also think just compositionally in all three of these versions that I probably, hang on, I probably would not have placed the barn so close right here to the edge. This is, this space right here is very small. So I probably would have chosen to run the barn right off or give a little bit more space right here. I try not to have things quite so tangent to the edge. And likewise, this fence post, I probably would not have placed it right on the edge. Move it in a little bit more so it's not neither here nor there. Also, just drawing wise, these are really picky things, and I know these are kind of studies, more studies more about the color and the value, which is, these are great. In terms of that, I think just getting a difference in value placement and colors and limited palette, these are really successful. Drawing, another little drawing thing. I think these fence posts would just remember the thick and thin. So they can be a little thicker as they're closer, but as they diminish in size, in height, as they go down, they're also going to diminish in width, in thickness. So you want to make sure you get a thick and thin line there for the fence posts. All right, let's see, what else? I really think they're really successful in terms of just what I said, just playing around with the limited palette and getting the different moods, and it's totally cool to see these differences. Now let's talk about this one. This one looks great. It looks like it's Venice or some wonderful place. And I I like that you took this idea of the limited palette and used it on this. Is really great. Um, and so on this one, the what's in shadow and what's in the light is really, really clear. And I really like that about it. I really feel like this figure is in this shadow. That's working out really well. I think this post, it's that I think it could actually be a teeny bit darker to say that it's also in that shadow part of your painting, and to separate it out just a little bit more from these distant buildings. The value of the buildings looks really good. Everything's sitting really nicely in this composition. It all kind of fits together really nice. I love how you handled the water. Pretty simple. Got the values really good on the water. So that's good. I think that in the darks on your figure here, so you've got a couple other choices for yourself here in the darks. Maybe a little bit more of the brown, so that right now it feels like these darks are real solid. Maybe if you mixed it up a little bit with some more of the brown, maybe even some more of this kind of brown, it wouldn't be quite so solid feeling. And we want it to feel more painterly, like some of this that you have going on. The way you handled the sidewalk, or this area is really good. So all really good stuff. Um, and I would just keep going with this. This is a great direction to play with for a little while, I think. Just playing with that limited palette. Now you asked about frames for pastels online. I boy, I'm really sorry that I can't help you there too much because I most of the frames that I get I order here in town, and I don't order too many frames online. So I used to, but I don't. The source that I used to use is not around anymore, unfortunately. So I get some of my less expensive frames from Beards, and then the frames for the larger pieces, I go to Framing Resource. They're a custom framer on Stark and 12th, and sometimes they have some ready-mades already there, but really they're a custom framer. So yeah, I'm sorry about that. But okay, and the other thing I wanted to talk about was the garden plein air retreat. I'll send you some info on that materials list and um, just some other support material for that. So that's going to be really fun. I'm really excited about doing that. You'll get a chance to play around with plein air without it being too heavy duty, and um, hang out in my garden and then hang out in some nice local spots. So that should be really fun. Okay, Paula, I hope this helps out a little bit. Um, I think the main thing that I would say is I would just try to be really clear to your viewer, um, the placement of the values, what's in the shadow, what's in the light. Um, so it's a little bit unclear. And one thing that you could do if you're interested is you could send me the reference material if you have a photograph, um, that maybe I can have a little bit more insight into what was going on there. All right, I will talk to you soon. Bye.